You ever get that feeling that our greatest stories, I'm talking ancient myths all the way to the superhero blockbusters we watch today, are all kind of telling the same single powerful story? A story about, well, about consciousness itself. Okay, let's dive into this, because today we are pulling back the curtain on that hidden blueprint, that perfect matrix that ties it all together. This right here, this is the key. It's a wild paradox that sits at the very heart of everything we're going to talk about. The idea that to go up, you first have to go down. That limitation is actually the secret ingredient for transcendence. This is the theme we're going to see over and over and over again. All right, so what is this one big story? Well, it's the story of that paradoxical dive we just mentioned. It turns out that across every culture, in every single era, consciousness is telling a story about itself that follows this fundamental pattern, a cosmic blueprint for growth, for purpose. And here it is. It's basically a 4-act play. Act 1, a descent from a state of unity down into the material world. 2, experiencing limits, forgetting who you really are. 3, that little spark of awakening inside that limited form. And finally, 4, the journey back home. But you're transformed. You're bringing all that wisdom from the experience back with you. So, and this is the crucial part, this isn't a fall from grace. It's a purposeful dive. It's called the Divine Inversion. And you see this pattern everywhere in our oldest myths. I mean, in Babylonian lore, the goddess Tiamat's body literally becomes the physical universe. The story of Lucifer, it's not just about some rebellion. It's about the lightbringer purposefully descending into the dark. And think about it. Countless creation stories tell of humanity being formed from clay, of pure spirit taking on an earthly body. The theme is always the same. The divine chooses to become limited. But this brings up the biggest question of all, right? If consciousness starts out in this state of perfection, of unity, why on earth would it choose to descend? Why take that plunge? Answering that question is how we really find the motivation to go beyond. Let's just sit with that for a second. Why would you trade infinite potential for a finite, messy experience? Why leave a state of total unity for one of separation and struggle? The answer to that question, well, it reveals the whole point of the game. Well, it turns out the descent is a sacred mission. I mean, think about it. How can light even know it's light without some darkness to compare it to? How can the infinite understand itself without experiencing the finite? This journey creates contrast, it allows for real free will, and it makes true transformation possible. It's not about escaping the material world, it's about elevating it, bringing it all back into the light of awareness. So, if consciousness is on this epic journey, it's going to need a way to navigate, right? A kind of GPS. The myths tell us it uses 3 fundamental archetypes, these essential roles, to help organize and understand reality. And together, they form a perfect matrix for the journey. What's so cool is how these 3 roles they cover all the bases. You've got the Black Priests, they're the guardians of the sacred mystery, the deep stuff. Then you have the Ivory Kings, the builders, the ones who organize all the chaos into society and order. And then you have the map makers, the explorers, charting new pathways of thought and possibility. And when these 3 work together in harmony, boom, you get a perfect system for navigating reality. You have the sacred why from the priests, the practical how from the kings, and the innovative where to next from the map makers. It's a complete toolkit for consciousness to explore itself. Okay, this is where it gets really fun. Let's see how this ancient matrix is playing out right now in one of the most popular mythologies of our time, the DC Comics universe. Turns out, it's a perfect modern guide to this whole cosmic story. Now, we're focusing on DC for a very specific reason. While Marvel often gives us really relatable people who just happen to get powers, DC gives us pure mythology. Its characters are archetypes first and people second. They're designed from the ground up to be gods walking among mortals, embodying these huge, timeless principles. And right at the heart of this modern mythology, you've got the DC Trinity: Superman, Batman, and Wonder Woman. They are not just a team, they are living, breathing archetypes. Each one represents a core principle that consciousness needs to successfully complete its heroic journey of descent and return. First up, you've got Superman. He is consciousness as pure, unfiltered hope. He comes from another world, right? He represents this divine potential that we can all aspire to, and his powers are all metaphors for the abilities of consciousness itself. Flight isn't just flying, it's transcendence. Invulnerability is the strength of a core principle, and X-ray vision is the ability to see the truth beyond what's on the surface.
Next, there's Batman, who represents consciousness as disciplined will. And this is just brilliant because he perfectly illustrates the power of turning your limitations into your greatest strengths. He has no powers, zero. His origin is pure trauma, which he alchemizes into this relentless purpose. He is living proof that preparation, intelligence, and mastering your own fear can let a mortal stand shoulder to shoulder with gods.
And completing this trinity is Wonder Woman, the embodiment of consciousness as truth and love. She's the bridge between the divine and the human worlds. Her entire mission is to bring peace, and her primary weapon, the lasso of truth, shows us that honesty and compassion aren't weaknesses. They're the most powerful, unifying forces in the entire universe. So, you put them all together, and you get the whole shebang. The inspiration of hope, the discipline of will, and the unifying power of truth and love. See, this isn't just a superhero team. It's a formula for a complete, balanced, and fully actualized consciousness. All right, let's bring this all the way back home. Because this grand cosmic story, it isn't just about gods and superheroes. It's not something out there that you just watch or read about. This myth, it's happening right now, inside of you. This is it. This is the ultimate recognition. You are the divine consciousness that chose to descend into form. Your life isn't separate from this pattern. Your life is the pattern. The entire cosmic drama is playing out through your personal, everyday experience. This whole thing has a name. It's often called the Great Work. It's the process of taking your experiences, your challenges, your limits, your falls, and transforming them into wisdom. It's about lighting up your own little corner of the material world with the light of your own awareness. Look at that pattern again, but this time see yourself in it. 1. You descended into your body. 2. The challenges and limits you face, they aren't punishments. They're creative constraints designed to forge your strength and wisdom. 3. The goal is to awaken within these limits. And 4, you complete the circuit, turning your life's experience into a legendary return. So I'll leave you with this question. Look back at your own story. What moment of failure, what hardship, what descent into darkness, when you look at it through this new lens, was actually the beginning of your ascent? What fall in your life was really the universe calling you to wake up, to transform, and to go beyond?